Welcome to the Bos Auto Show. Buying or selling your vehicle during the pandemic is certainly different, but it doesn't have to be complicated. The staff at Bos Auto Sales in Quincy has years of experience, knowledge, and stories to share with you. Find out what the local car market is like and what you can do to help secure yourself the best deals here on the Bos Auto Show.
Hi and welcome to the Bos Auto Show. I'm Maria Sweeney, your host for the show today. We specialize in exotic cars and a lot more. We're located in Quincy, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, on 112 Copeland Street. Stop by today to check out beautiful vehicles or check our website, www.bosautogroup.com, BOSAUTO group.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, and today we have a very special guest with us. He has unique and diverse experience, but hold on for a second. I'll introduce him to you in a couple of seconds. Without a doubt, this episode is going to be extra entertaining. It's going to be about financing, and by the end of the show, our listeners will have the opportunity to win gift cards. Guys, you have an opportunity to win gift cards, so stay tuned and do not miss it. Okay, now it's time to introduce Charlie Zeltner. He's the general manager at Bos Auto and just a wonderful person. Hi, Charlie. How are you doing?
Well, Maria, thank you for a wonderful introduction. I'm glad you believe that.
Absolutely. So, how are you doing today?
Oh, it's a beautiful day today. Things are going well. I'm glad to be here. I always do enjoy this. Just as an aside, back a long time ago when I was in college out in Chicago, a lot of people don't know this. I was actually the chief engineer at our radio station, WHPK, in Chicago. And there were a lot of fond memories of that, so I always liked the radio.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I can hear that you have some experience, actually a lot of it.
Well, thank you.
So, since it's New Year, how does it feel to be in 2021? What's your New Year's resolution for this new year? So, yeah, tell us about your dreams and secrets.
You know, I'm one of the very, very lucky people that I don't really have a resolution. And you know why? Because there's nothing in my life I'd really want to change. I love what I do. I love the company that I work for. Paul, my boss, better known as the owner, is a dear best friend of mine. We've been through thick and thin together. I love our customers. You know, I have a beautiful home, 2 nice cars, beautiful wife, crazy little dog. I don't think I could change anything. I wouldn't want to change anything.
Oh, that's perfect. Maybe then we should create a podcast, How to Make Your Life Perfect, with Charlie Zeltner.
Well, truth be told, I just had my 61st birthday, so it's taken 61 years to achieve this. But it was always my goal to have a wonderful life, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days where it's tough, but overall, I couldn't be more thankful.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I personally just can't wait till the pandemic is over, and I really dream about traveling. I miss this so much.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you mean. Now, everybody I know, certainly everybody I've spoken with, there's a lot of sentiment out there. We'd very much like to have a wonderful 2021 and put the past behind us at this point.
Yes, I agree. I remember when I was a teenager, I created some kind of a vision board, you know, where you put like all your dreams.
Yes.
And I had a lot of like girl stuff, you know, like lipstick stuff like that, beautiful house. And I actually remember that, and I did believe in that vision board. And I actually remember that I had a car over there, and it was Bentley GT Continental. Unfortunately, I don't have it till now, but who knows?
Not
maybe
yet,
in the
but
future.
there's one coming in that you can buy. I know it's coming in, I think, next week, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow. Okay, so shush.
Okay.
I'm going to get it. Okay, beautiful. But the matter of fact, I know that you actually have your dream car right now, right? It's Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah. Is it correct?
Yes. Everybody should always have a car that he or she really wants to acquire, and hopefully for the right reasons. Mine is a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit with a very special interior that came from the factory. And the reason that's special to me is I've always been a Jeep guy. Yes, of course, I've dabbled in sports cars and, the M Roadster BMW, and I've had an older 911 and all that. But, going back to the New Year's resolutions, I'm kind of 6'1" and 200 and some odd pounds, and it's kind of hard to get into them. But no, the neat thing about the Jeep is it just fits my lifestyle. It's the car that I love, and it's just a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. And actually, since you're a huge fan of Jeep, do you know the history of this brand? As I know, it's a military brand, and it was a military brand in the beginning.
Yes, I believe if you go back to 1941, it was developed by... if you go back, I believe it was American Motors back then, and the federal government, because they needed a little vehicle that could go almost anywhere, and they came up with the MJ, the military Jeep. My history is kind of weak in this, but the Jeep got its name by the GIs, had named it a Jeep. And there's actually a little caricature of a Jeep. If you Google it, caricature of Jeep, it'll come up with this kind of dog cat kind of thing. It's really neat.
Oh, I want to check it.
Oh yeah, it's really neat. And the all the GIs loved the vehicle, and those stories are true that some GIs would disassemble it piece by piece, and they send each part home and then reassemble it on the other side.
Wow.
Those stories are actually true.
Wow.
And a good example of a World War II Jeep right now commands amazing amounts of money. They're highly sought after as collector's items. Yeah.
Wow, that's really an interesting piece of story. So actually today I wanted to talk to you about the financing.
Sure.
It's kind of a tricky topic, and for example, I personally never financed the car, and when I just started thinking about it, it sounds so complicated and so confusing, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are confused about the whole process, how to finance the vehicle, what's the best terms and stuff. And I guess the most important and common question that you guys probably get is how long will it take to pay off the car? Are there any limitations on payment method period?
Not a problem. There are a whole mess of questions in there, so let's start at the
I'm
beginning.
pretty sure.
Let's start at the beginning so we can understand this, okay? When a client finances a car, okay, it's done on something called a retail installment contract. That's that long, huge piece of paper that people fill out, okay?
So this is, I guess, the first step that scares people. Probably
right.
we see
Don't
all
be
this.
scared about that, because that's the actual end product of what's going on. Now, the only place that actually can set the rate is the financial institution, the bank, the credit union, or some other financial institution. A dealer never sets a rate, ever. Okay?
So basically, if I call the dealership and asking, okay, what's going to be my rate, and the dealership cannot really answer these questions right away.
Okay, not only can he not answer the question, it is a federal law that says he cannot answer the question.
Great,
right? There are a number of laws to protect the consumer. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. And it's totally dependent on the client's, credit rating, his employment, how long he's lived at an address. There are a whole mess of things that go into that, okay? And a lot of people don't know that. It's not just, I called up on one of the credit services and I had a 682 credit score, and what's my rate? It doesn't work that way. It never has, and it never will. The only way you can know what ultimately the credit, annual percentage rate is going to be is you legitimately have to be absolutely either pre-approved at a bank or if you're going through the dealer, which is always a good idea, and I'll explain to that in a little bit. Say I'm buying the car. But unless I can get a rate that is what I think is reasonable, at that point, the financial or business manager goes through the whole thing, okay, pulls a credit bureau, submits it to a bank. The bank then returns its response.
Yep.
Approved, declined, or they need more information, okay? And at that point, if it's approved, they actually specify what the rate is. Now, today, this instant, because rates change all the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially with pandemic.
Because in my career I spent over 5 years as a business manager. Okay, that's all I did for 5 years, and that's a long time. It was
Absolutely.
fun, but I have the altitude of knowing what a good rate was, what a bad rate was. Currently, right now, we are writing rates, or a certain financial institution, quite frankly, it's a credit union, has a rate of 2.74%. I would challenge a lot of people out there to beat that rate. It's not that easy, okay? On the other side, in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, there's a statutory cap of 21%. Okay, nobody can write a car loan on a retail installment contract higher than that. Okay, now, and people's rates fall anywhere in that spectrum or continuum. The idea of financing a car it's just a tool. That's all this is, okay? So what you want to consider is, well, obviously you want the lowest rate for the shortest term. There's no crime in paying interest, okay? I couldn't have, the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee I was talking about, it's not an inexpensive vehicle, and it's not a go-for-broke expensive vehicle, but I couldn't write a check for that. So I financed the vehicle, right? My best advice for a client is what you're looking for is the shortest term, obviously, at the reasonably lowest rate, where you can always guarantee that you will be able to make the monthly payment. It is deadly to miss payments on a car. Also, truth be told, the hardest loan to get right now is a car loan, interestingly enough.
Really?
It's actually easier to get a mortgage relative to a car loan.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons is obviously with the pandemic, a house, you can't move a house. You can move a car, okay? But that doesn't mean it's impossible. It's not. I have, at our store, I have, gotten approvals with people, credit scores in the low 500s. The interest rates are going to be high. But the advice that I give clients like that is, okay, this truly is your fresh start. Yes, it is painful. I'd be the first one to say that, okay? What you want to do is be fastidious, be religious about making these payments on time. At that point, all right, the next time you do this, it won't be that interest rate. You're going to be playing, if we were talking about today, you could be getting a 3.99% rate.
Wow, that's really interesting, Charlie. Thanks really for sharing all of this. And I know that now we're taking a quick break here. And this is Maria. We'll be back in a minute. We'll continue talking about financing with our guest, Charlie Zeltner. And do not miss our trivia. You have a chance to win a gift card today by the end of the show. This is 95.9 WATD. We will be right back.
So, you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Buy it at Bos Auto. Bos Auto in Quincy has a fantastic selection of pre-owned vehicles, both luxury and economic. BMW, Audi, and Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. They search nationally for the very best vehicles so you can drive home with the best value. And right now at Bos Auto, you can get behind the wheel of the pre-owned vehicle of your dreams with affordable finance rates, maybe even lower than 3. That's right, meaning just a few $100 a month. Visit BosAutoGroup.com, BOSAutogroup.com, and check out their huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. They'll buy your car, take your trade, or even work on consignment. Bos Auto has an incredible lineup of domestic and foreign vehicles, even rare finds like Ferrari. Search online and see for yourself why you should book your next car buying experience with Bos Auto. They're open for appointments Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Book yours at bosautogroup.com. bosautogroup.com.
We're back. This is Bos Auto Show, and I'm Maria, your host for the show. We're here every Saturday right after the noontime news, and today we're talking about car financing, what it is, and how to do it in a smart way. Charlie Zeltner is sharing his unique and diverse experience with me and you guys. Feel free to visit our website, www.bosautogroup.com. BOSAUTO group.com. I also want to remind everyone that this month's Bos Auto will make a donation to UNICEF to help children in need. Okay, Charlie, let's come back to the topic we were discussing about financing, about what's better to choose short, long terms. There are different situations, bad credit, good credit, people with no credit. Mm-hmm. So I guess all of this influence the interest rate for people. Do you have anything else to add to this part?
Sure. A couple of things. As I said a couple of shows ago, and I say it every show, you want to purchase from a dealer who you trust. A lot of our clients, a number of our clients are people from out of the country that are here for a limited amount of time, perhaps a student, perhaps a research fellow, somebody like that. And typically, even a client like that doesn't have a U.S. Social Security number. Mm-hmm. We have special financing at very attractive rates, quite frankly, to secure financing for these folks. The most important thing is to talk to us. Let us help you. In other words, I won't be able to, say, yes, it's going to be 5.99%. Mm-hmm. But what I can do is, after we talk a little bit, give you a range of reasonably what this is going to be. And at that point, because you're not paying cash, you want to know what your payment is. With that information, I can, on one screen on my computer, I can put in what I need and return a payment. And we can see if that fits your budget. Okay? The whole idea, please remember this. We help arrange financing. Okay? We're not... That's a service we offer. We would like to sell you a car. And if the only way you can acquire the car is financing it, that's why we do it. It's to help out. But what we want to do is help with the car. Perhaps financing is something you'd like to avail yourself of. Perhaps an extended service plan, which I strongly recommend for what are now called rolling computers instead of cars. If you don't know what gap insurance is, you might want to consider it. Wheel and tire protection for the absolute wonderful roads in Massachusetts. We just had a customer, and he just made the claim, as a matter of fact. Charlie, what the hell do I need wheel and tire insurance for? I've never had a flat tire. What he did was he hit a monster pothole with his Porsche.
Happens. Yeah. Oh my God.
And took out both tires and both wheels. The claim was $4,000. Wheel and tire picked it up. He didn't even have to go through his insurance. There was no deductible. We're done. So these are all things to consider. All these products that dealers talk about that everybody thinks, oh, you're just trying to rip me off. No, quite frankly, we're not. We're trying to help you because not if, but when you have the problem, you're covered. Would you ever go around without automobile insurance? Of course not. So why wouldn't you want to take care of your car? Let's do this, and let's, unless there are more questions, which I'll be more than happy to answer, there aren't that many people out there like us that can help with the different and diverse types of financing requests and requirements that our clients have. Give us a try. I've challenged customers before. Hey, I want to go through my bank. Okay, not a problem. But let me ask you a question, Mr. Customer. If we can meet or beat your rates, would you give us a try? And no word of a lie, over the past year, every time we've done that, we have at least beat the rate. And why would you want to finance it with a dealership? Well, going back and forth to your financial institution, securing the check, wiring the money, you're just delaying everything. And, if you're talking about 1/4 percentage point, I mean, maybe that's, I'm not minimizing $2 a month, but is it really worth your time kind of thing?
Makes sense.
Yeah. One of the funny things that, not to belabor the point, Maria, because I don't want people's eyes to glaze over or anything like that, but I remember this. There was a client that we were at 2.74, as I promised. He was able to get 2.54 from a credit union out in the Midwest, okay?
Yep.
All right. Now, and he was financing $8,000 for 36 months. The interest difference over the time was $82 for the entire length of the loan.
Oh.
I said, Mr. Customer, let's look at it this way. It's an $82 or $83 difference. Do you really want to go through the headache of all of this? And he goes, no, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I said, sir, let's do this. Come around and take a look at my computer. Okay, this is a financial calculator that, this is how we prepare all the paperwork for the banks.
Absolutely.
And he said, oh my God, Charlie, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Of course I'm not going to go. This is ridiculous. Of course. Prepare the paperwork. We'll be all set. So there's a lot of misinformation. Please, if we talk, ask me the questions. Ask me the deep, dark questions that you... Don't ever feel embarrassed. I'm the expert. You're not. If I needed a doctor to consult on a weird symptom or something like that, I'm not the expert. I'm not going to go to WebMD. I'm going to call my doctor and say, hey, doc, what's up? I always go to the experts when I don't know something. Treat me as the expert.
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate that you shared this information. I think it can be really helpful to the listeners because I can imagine how many people over there who don't have social security number, had a bad credit, or there's another store and they're saying, oh, okay, just forget about it. And they don't even try. So that's actually very, very great that you shared that Bos Auto actually can provide some options. Just, come and check and...
Oh, yeah. No, please give us, just all we're asking for is give us the opportunity. Obviously, no guarantees, but I will guarantee one thing. Regardless of how it turns out, you will know exactly why and how it turned out, and I'll give you some recommendations for the future if it doesn't turn out. I promise.
Yeah, thank you very much for your honesty.
You're welcome.
I really love talking to you.
You're a sweetie.
All right. So, and for people who actually never finance, let's explain how the whole process go. Let's just imagine I'm your new customer. I decided to buy a car. I found the perfect car on your website. I come to the Bos Auto, and I decided to buy this car. What's the next step? How can I finance the car? Is it a loan application? How long does it take usually?
Okay. You asked the question based on I've never financed a car before. Therefore, I will assume that there is no car loan history in your credit profile. Okay?
Yeah, let's, for example, take me.
So, okay, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Now, you probably have a credit profile, but no car, what we call car experience or car loan experience. Okay. So what happens is with the bank, it's still going to return. Oh, I have to do an aside. Okay. Let me just clarify something. When you go to one of those services on your cell phone or internet or something like that, and it returns a credit score of, let's say, 680. Okay. Just for argument's sake. Okay. That's what's known as a blended score. Now, when you go for a specific type of loan, a mortgage, a car loan, a credit card, or something like that, they're all different scores because it's predicting on your past history. Okay. One thing that my credit score for my car, me personally, okay, is lower than my mortgage. Reason being is because I'm in the business and I change a car every 2 years, and then every other 2 years my wife gets another car, right? What banks like seeing is they like to see the loan stay a little longer, but be that as it may, that's the only reason. So on a new person, what the bank, we're going to return a credit score. It will be lower than that. How much? Who knows, okay? It might actually be higher if you have a mortgage too. So it gets really, really squirrely. But so let's say it would be a predictable score of the mid to upper sixes. Okay, very easy to get done. Now, what the bank is going to look at is the money down, okay, your employment income, your employment history, and your longevity of where you've lived in the past 2 years. In other words, if you've been at the same residence 2 years or longer. In any event, okay. So what the bank, it's kind of crass, but I'll say it anyway. All any financial institution cares about is it gets its money. That's all it cares about.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's not a secret.
So, yeah. So the more risk, the higher the interest rate. All right. So this is where it gets a little cloudy, okay? Now, usually, and this is a rule of thumb, that on a first-time car buyer, right, you'd want at least 2 years of records in your credit bureau. In other words, you can only have a credit bureau since you were 18, right? So let's assume you're 20, 2 years there, that you'd have sufficient income to purchase the car. Sufficient income. Now, rule of thumb, and they're all ratios, and again, I don't want people's eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
It's your monthly payment should not exceed 15% of your gross monthly income, okay? I'm not going to do the math over the radio, but that's a rule of thumb, too, that the car that you are acquiring should be reasonably under control, okay? Now, let's take just a 21-year-old guy that really wants a $80,000 Maserati, and he has a $40,000 a year job. It ain't going to get approved, okay?
Makes sense.
All right. I have gotten those approved before.
No way.
Oh, yeah, I have. Okay. Wow. I'm remembering one for 2 years ago. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was just last year, as a matter of fact. He was actually making, I think it was $50,000 a year. The monthly payment actually worked because he was putting a significant amount of money down. And the requirement was, I'll never forget it, right on the stipulation page from the bank, must have strong cosigner.
Oh, here we go, yeah.
So I explained that to him, and he said his mom might want to co-sign. I said, okay. He had left the store, obviously, and I said, do me a favor. Can you have your mom call me, please, if she'd like to co-sign? There are a couple of things I want to discuss with her. And lo and behold, it all worked out, and explained the pros and cons to Mom, and he loves us, loves his car, and he's good to go. I mean, yeah, he's all set. So let's work it through, okay? Yes, in that situation, I can do it. I just need to understand where you are, where you want to be, and let me take over and let me see what I can do.
Charlie, you're literally a miracle over there.
I try. I love seeing my customers smile. I really do.
I know. All right, and now let's imagine another situation, more complicated one. I'm really sorry, but let's imagine I'm leasing a car and my lease is not over yet.
Okay.
So, but I want to trade this vehicle and get another vehicle from Bos Auto. Can I do that?
It's a yes with an asterisk, okay? And it's very, very important. The vast majority of the manufacturers out there permit that. There are two that I am aware of that won't, okay? And they will remain nameless. If you want to call me, I'll be more than happy to talk to you, but there are two that will not permit that. In any case, yes, while you don't own the car, we can still trade it in and pay off the lessor, okay, or the leasing institution. Typically, you are not going to be making money on that. You are going to be owing some, but we can actually take care of that as well. It's real easy to do, but yes, you can actually trade in a leased car. Not a problem.
That's amazing news. But now we're taking a break here, and this is Maria with Charlie Zeltner, and we'll continue talking about car financing in a minute. Do not miss our trivia. This is where you have a chance to win a gift card by the end of the show. This is 95.9 WATD. We'll be right back.
So, you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Buy it at Bos Auto. Bos Auto in Quincy has a fantastic selection of pre-owned vehicles, both luxury and economic. BMW, Audi, and Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. They search nationally for the very best vehicles so you can drive home with the best value. And right now at Bos Auto, you can get behind the wheel of the pre-owned vehicle of your dreams with affordable finance rates, maybe even lower than 3. That's right, meaning just a few $100 a month. Visit BosAutoGroup.com, BOSAutogroup.com, and check out their huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. They'll buy your car, take your trade, or even work on consignment. Bos Auto has an incredible lineup of domestic and foreign vehicles, even rare finds like Ferrari. Search online and see for yourself why you should book your next car buying experience with Bos Auto. They're open for appointments Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Book yours at BosAutoGroup.com, BosAutoGroup.com.
We're back. This is Bos Auto Show, and I'm Maria, your host for the show. We're here every Saturday, right after the noontime news. And today we're talking about car financing, what it is, and how to do it in a smart way. Charlie Zeltner is sharing his unique and diverse experience with me and you guys. Feel free to visit our website, www.bosautogroup.com, BOSAUTO group.com. I also want to remind everyone that this month's Bos Auto will make a donation to UNICEF to help children in need. And just to remind our listeners who just joined us, we were talking about financing with Charlie Zeltner, and I asked him a question. What if I'm leasing the car and I want to trade it in? My lease is not over. Can I still trade this car in and finance a new car?
And the answer is still yes. I haven't changed. Okay.
That's great.
Yes. Again, leasing a car is it's real easy. It's a long-term rental. That's what it is. You do not own the car. You don't have right, title, or interest to the car, but you can dispose of the car. All right. So let's say you realize that you did a stupid thing and you didn't lease it with the number of miles that you're actually incrementing. Okay. And you choose to come by the store and you say, hey, I like the gee whiz golly 18 outside. Yes, we can actually take that in as a trade. Now, a couple of cautions on a trade of a lease. Okay. You do not get sales tax trade credit because you've never owned the car. But you've never outlaid the sales tax to begin with because you pay it monthly. Okay. Number 2, there's still going to be a disposition fee, okay? Now, when we do that payoff, okay, we write the check to the lessor and pay it off. We call for something called a lease buyout. Okay. Now, a lease buyout can be different from a customer buyout and a dealer buyout. Okay. Again, eyes glazing over, I can tell, and all that. But what we will do is we'll walk you through every step of the way on every charge. Okay. Normally, what a lessor will do will fax us or email us a dealer buyout, and we share that with everybody. There's no big secret here. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, this is what it's going to take to get you out of this lease. However, if you keep the lease till its end with the mileage and the wear and tear, this is what your potential exposure is going to be. So it's just a, left side, right side. We're going to limit your exposure and get it done. Because at the end of the day, yes, we still want that car because we need your trades. We want to buy cars. Leasing, just by the way, on leasing, suggestion going all the way back to when leasing started, and very few people know that it started in Rhode Island at a major Ford dealer where they called it half a car.
Really?
Oh, yes,
wow.
yes. That was, again, I am not plugging another dealership, but it was absolute genius. That's where car leasing actually started. Was in Rhode Island.
I didn't know that.
And it legitimately was called, the marketing term was half a car. Okay?
Wow.
Because you have rights for about 3 years to the car and about half the value of the car.
Makes sense.
The only, again, the way I was taught way back was there are 2 reasons that you should lease a car. Either your accountant said you needed to lease a car for your business, or some other tax reason. And number two was you wanted a new car every 3 years and you wanted it under the manufacturer's warranty. Quite frankly, that really hasn't changed because I've seen some, a lot of leases work out perfectly for customers, but a lot of them don't. Where, I can get that car for, with $2,000 down for $349 a month for 10,000 miles. What happened was they drive 20,000 miles a year, and the mileage penalty is 25 cents a mile, so do 25 times 30,000 plus sales tax, plus the excess wear and tear.
Oh my God.
Very dumb. In any event, yes, you can trade it in. Again, use us as a resource. If you're looking at one of our vehicles, please call up in advance, and I'll be more than happy to. Maria, you take the phone call, and I do get the phone call, and I'll be more than happy to spend the time. Most of the time, unfortunately, in my office, I'm doing administrative work or paperwork. Believe me, I want to talk to a client more than I want to be doing a spreadsheet or a ledger or a pie chart.
And help them.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Charlie, for sharing everything. And now what I call a fun part, because we're going to have a trivia. And our listeners, please hold on. There's going to be, the last question is going to be for you, and you will have a chance to win a gift card. So I have 5 different cards in front of me with 5 different topics. I'm going to pick one of them. Each card has 6 questions. Since we have a professional here, Charlie, 5 first questions is going to be for him. Very fair, huh?
I haven't had my second cup of coffee today. I don't like this. I'm going home. I'll see you in
Bringing
May.
the third one. Okay, yeah. And the last question will be for our listeners.
Okay, then don't ask me that or tell me to shut up or something. I probably don't know the answer anyway, so.
Let's check it out.
All right.
So, to participate in it, guys, you can just send the right answer to our direct line, 617-545-0383. It's our direct line, and you will have only 5 minutes to send the right answer to us. I will repeat the phone number again. Ready? 617-545-0383. Okay, now let's see which one is going to be picked. And it's a Porsche Trivia! Woohoo!
Paul should be here. He's more into this than I am.
Are you ready, Charlie?
I'll give it a try. I like embarrassing myself. I try to do it daily. Yeah.
I like embarrassing people. So
Here we go.
Perfect couple. All right. The first question is, what animal is on the Porsche logo? A, greyhound. B, bull. C, tiger. D, horse.
D, final answer.
Woo! Yeah, and that's the right answer. And the horse on Porsche logo represents the stud farm on which the city was built. Great job. Now we slowly move into the second question.
Oh, God, my palms are sweating. Feels like Jeopardy, and I'm not going to win anything.
Okay, so the second question is, the Porsche 356 was built with parts from what other car? A, Alfa Romeo 8C. I hope I pronounced all these names correctly. B, Volkswagen Beetle. C, Aston Martin DB2. D, Citroen DS.
You did very well.
All right.
Yes, I know. No. Yes, there are a number of jokes you can make about it, but I believe that was Volkswagen Beetle.
That's right.
Yep.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, if you ever want to torture a Porsche customer or, because I've been to road rallies and all that kind of stuff and Lime Rock and all that, you go by somebody with this beautiful 911 GT3 RS or something like that, and how do you like your VW? Oh, they get all upset. It's funny as hell. Yeah. No, it's all done in good fun, but yes, it was a VW Beetle.
That's the right answer. And just a little story behind that. In post-war Germany, parts were generally in a short supply. Mm-hmm. So the 356 automobile used components from the Volkswagen Beetle. So that was the right answer.
Yes.
Okay, and now we slowly move into the question number 3. I think it's quite complicated and tricky question. How many Porsche 64s were produced? A, 3. B, 3,000, C, 30, D, 300. If you want me to repeat the question, let me know.
No, because repeating it doesn't mean I know the answer, and I really don't. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to be wrong, but I would say 300.
Actually, only 3.
Yep.
Prior to the World War II, Porsche designed and built 3 types of 64 cars for 1939 Berlin to Rome race, and that race actually was cancelled.
Well, I'll plead ignorance because I was born in '59. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great. I actually have a question. Does Bos Auto have a lot of Porsche 911 at the moment?
A lot. We have 2 right now. As you might have referenced at the top of the show, we hand select each of those. We've actually sold 3 in the past month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 911s, much like any good sports car, have a professional hand selected for you. You do not want to fool around with that. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble. But yeah.
Oh, that's great to know. I asked it because the next question will be about this car. Mm-hmm. So let's see if you know the answer. What was the Porsche 911 originally called? A, Porsche 356B, Porsche 900, Porsche 901, Porsche 910.
901, guess.
Yes, that's a great guess.
Yeah, even a stop clock's right twice a day.
That's great. Yeah, that's correct answer. And it was originally designed the Porsche 901, as you said, but French automobile manufacturer Peugeot protested on the grounds that in France it had exclusive rights to car names formed by 3 numbers with a 0 in the middle. Instead of selling the new model with a different name in France, Porsche changed the name to 911. So this is the story behind that.
Oh, the French got us again. Just teasing. Don't call it.
And we're moving to question number 5. So, what is the most popular color for Porsche 911? A, white, B, yellow, C, black, D, red.
I'm going to go based on experience. Okay? All right? You'd think it would be guards red, but it's not. I'll bet you it's black.
It's white. But
I'm leaving. This isn't fun anymore.
But actually,
Really?
a few decades ago, red was the most popular color. So this is what, you just mentioned. But yeah, now it's white followed by black, silver, and then gray. This is the colors how it's.
I absolutely believe you, but yeah,
I'm not sure what's the year of this trivia. Maybe you're right, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say because our most desirable, demand 911s are typically always in black. I mean, we do a red one every once in a while. The Caymans in white seem to be popular, but yeah.
All right, guys, and now we have only 2 minutes, so please, the next questions is for you. Just send us A, B, C, or D to Bos Auto phone number 617-545-0383. It's our direct line, and I'm going to repeat the phone number one more time, 617-545-0383. And now the question for you. If you answer it right, you have a chance to win a gift card. All right, the question is, besides cars, what has Porsche design? A, tanks, B, watches, C, forklifts, D, all of this. I will repeat one more time. Besides cars, what has Porsche designed? A, tanks, B, watches, C, forklifts, D, all of this. Just send A, B, C, or D to our phone number and we'll contact you if the answer is correct. This was Bos Auto Show, and thank you very much, Charlie. It was very fun and educational. And for everyone who participated in our trivia, thank you for listening to our show. We'll get back to you soon. This is Bos Auto Show, and I'm Maria, your host for the show. We're here every Saturday right after the noontime news. We're going to be here again next Saturday at the same time. If you can't join us live, just Google Bos Auto Show. We're now on your favorite platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Facebook. See you next week.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bos Auto Show. Come back next week after the news at noon.